Any fears that the 82nd Masters would fail to live up its much-anticipated billing were emphatically dispelled on Friday. Following a compelling second round to leave us with a weekend to savor. Two accomplished gunslingers in American Patrick Reed and Australian Mark Leishman took full advantage of ideal weather in the evening shadows to complete spectacular rounds. But neither will relish looking in their rearview mirror. Open champion Henrik Stenson is third, and then comes Rory McIlroy, seeking the career Grand Slam, and Jordan Spieth, pursuing a fourth major championship before his 25th birthday. Right behind them are world number 1 Dustin Johnson and world number 2 Justin Thomas, and a shot behind those two is world number 5, Justin Rose. Not a bad lineup, then. Tiger Woods? He actually drove the ball well, though didn't hit his irons close enough, and had to settle for a 75. But he's around for the weekend, a decent result for a man playing the Masters for the first time in over 1,000 days. It would surprise no one if he continues to get better each day. When McIlroy and Spieth finished their rounds, it didn't seem possible they could finish the day 5 shots behind Reed and 3 adrift of Leishman. The forecast had called for the winds to strengthen, not die out altogether. Credit Reed though, who went to college at Augusta, and Leishman for taking full advantage. Reed had on his Ryder Cup game face as he holed all sorts of putts, while Leishman is some story too. 3 years ago he had to miss the Masters because his wife Audrey was in an induced coma. Her odds of surviving toxic shock syndrome were rated at less than 10%. Sorry you had to miss Augusta, she said, when she regained consciousness and began her miracle recovery. Recently, she gave birth to their third child. So perhaps no wonder Leishman plays with such abandon. But with the weather expected to turn for the worse today, and neither of the two leaders having won a major, the glittering chasing pack won't worry too much about the deficit at this stage. Indeed, over 36 holes, McIlroy has done everything he needed to do to set up the exciting possibility of completing the slam. Now comes the ultimate test of nerve. Swinging beautifully, and with an assured touch on and around the greens, all the countless hours McIlroy spent accumulating knowledge of Augusta in the build-up has paid a rich dividend. At the age of 28, everything appears in place to become just the sixth man to win all 4 majors. There could be no finer setting to do it than here, and no finer time than now, against so many starry names. McIlroy was steadiness personified in tackling the capricious breezes as he followed up his opening 69 with a 71 to set the clubhouse lead on 4 under par. 15 minutes later, Spieth matched his total. I'm pleased with how I played and the position I'm in, said McIlroy. I'm just a little disappointed that I didn't convert either of 2 good chances on the last 2 holes, but overall I'm happy. It's going to be an exciting weekend. Playing together, Johnson and perennial Masters contender Rose inspired one another as the former birdied the last for 68 and the latter shot 70. Spieth not only knows how to win the Masters, he also knows how to leave the patrons slack-jawed with horror. Nothing will beat his collapse 2 years ago on the final day to set up Danny Willett, of course, but his dreadful front 9 still scored high marks for shock value. So assured on day 1 with his 66 for a 2-stroke lead, the general expectation was he would assume control. That theory lasted all of 40 minutes, and the time it took him to complete the first 3 holes. Playing this trio in 11 shots is entirely possible, and no more than 12 the target. Spieth, however, needed no fewer than 16 shots to reach the 4th tee. All that brilliance on the opening day undone by a series of loose strokes that blew this Masters wide open. McIlroy began nervously with a drive into the trees and then a woeful 3-putt, but settled by holing from 25 feet for a birdie at the second and then another at the third courtesy of a lovely chip. Then came 2 hours of hard work, where he buckled down and protected his score. There were bogeys at the 2 short holes on the front 9 but no further damage following good par putts at the 7th and 10th. And then came 2 gains at the 13th and 14th. I'm having a constant conversation with myself to stay in the present, he revealed, and that's how it must be for 2 more momentous and potentially historic days. 2 years ago, McIlroy was in a similar position and, playing alongside Spieth, he played tight golf and subsided to a 77. He looks a wholly different player now. Spieth's crushing start began with his opening tee shot, as it flew deep into trouble on the right. Spieth couldn't even locate the fairway with his next shot, much less the green, and then, when he did come up just short of the putting surface with his third, he needed 3 more to finish the hole. In terms of scoring, it got no better at the par 5 second, as this time he missed the fairway badly on the right. A 6,6 start therefore, and neither was the birdie on offer at the short par 4 third accepted. The 24-year-old Texan then dropped another shot at the 7th to be out in 40. His worst ever outward 9 at Augusta. It says plenty about Spieth's inner strength that he recovered to come home in 34 shots. He might not be in Rory's league as a ball striker, but he is anyone's equal in terms of character.